Hey folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I am Robert, your resident Gen Xer, and right down there, right there, is John, our resident millennial. John, how are you doing this evening?
Yeah, doing all right. Not fan fucking tastic, but just all right.
Oh no, John, you sound like you've
Yeah.
got the blues.
Now I've got the coronavirus. No, I don't though.
Don't say that. Don't say
Not yet. Yeah.
that. Hey,
It's like shutting a bomb in in an airport. Like you just don't do
right.
that.
Hey, looks like we've got some folks already showing up. We got Sully Blue in the house listening while he's cooking some potatoes O'Brien. I would love to have some of those. I love those. Very
Yeah.
tasty.
Sounds delicious.
And we got Bull Devon in the house, knowing that it's
Yes.
9:30 Eastern. It's going to be our new showtime on Mondays. It's going to be our new showtime.
That's right.
It's exciting. It's wonderful. It's woo.
So make sure you mark it down on your calendars. If you even use calendars still.
Uh oh. Okay.
What?
You ever had one of those red dots on your forehead? Like you just wonder.
No, I'm not Indian.
Yeah.
Get it?
Are you? Yeah. So yeah. Don't joke about the coronavirus, John. Jeez. My wife came home today and she's like, I heard somebody in Lake Mary got it. That's kind of close to home, so I scrambled
That's right
online.
down the road. Yeah.
I Nephilim Ninja in the house. Welcome, welcome, folks. Yeah, so I scrambled online and I looked at the information and it may have been a false flag. This fake news that she heard. You know, these things get
I hope
running
so.
around. So far, still only 17 cases. Most of them coastal, surprisingly enough. There's folks coming in doing stuff, cruises and stuff. Weird thing, Broward County here in Florida has 3 cases. None of those
Of
people
course.
have had any international travel.
Of course it's Broward County though.
But that gives me a little pause because I'm like, okay, so if 3 people have it in Broward County and none of them had anything to do with international travel, that means there's some fucks roaming around that haven't been tested yet,
Yeah.
right? But hey, folks, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button. I see Jay Edgar in the house as well.
Yeah.
Make sure you're hitting that. We've got a little show tonight. Nothing exciting because really I tell you, John, it's one of those things where it's like everything news is coronavirus right now. That and Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
Um,
We've had
I,
enough of that.
yeah, it was. They
In fact, Monday night is supposed to be our break from Trump derangement syndrome news.
then maybe someone should get the memo to him that Mondays should be less TDS going on. Um,
Yep.
yeah, no, his apparently his Twitter was blowing up today, and he was going off on everything but the coronavirus. So he made lots of Americans upset. Golfed
He does that often.
golfed all weekend, and then comes back and blames the media and Democrats for this horrible spin that's being put on the coronavirus because his Surgeon General said, "Yeah, chances are very low for the average American." Gotcha, gotcha. All
Yeah,
right,
no,
we're
fair enough.
we're all safe. We're good. Trump
I
has
mean,
said we're
it's
good.
Trump knows all. I mean, he does know more than generals about the military, so I think that stands to reason that he would know more about viruses than doctors. So
It was funny. I did see an article over the weekend. He was at CPAC. I believe it was CPAC. He went to that and he spoke
yeah,
at
yeah,
CPAC. One person from CPAC that was there has tested positive for the coronavirus. So it was at CPAC with potentially with the virus. I'm like,
yeah.
is that does that get anybody's attention? No, no, nobody's. Okay, gotcha. Italy is shut down, so cancel all your
Like
spaghetti
completely.
plans. Yeah, the whole country. They're like, fuck it,
Yeah.
lockdown. Which is exactly. I mean, why, I think this is one of those times where we should take an example from somebody else in the world. Lock her down, bitches. uh,
Well, we're not part of the EU, so we don't get a shitload of free money coming
there's
from other countries.
uh,
We actually have to work for a living.
if what was the meme that somebody posted? If Mike Bloomberg spent how much money on his campaign, and if he just gave $1 million
Oh
dollars,
God,
I was
yeah.
like, how's
If
that
you gave
math
everyone
thing
$1 million,
going?
Yeah, it was something like 327 trillion
Obviously,
dollars you would have to spend.
right. Obviously, that was not a Yang Gang supporter that was putting that one out. Cameron says, "Did you?" Cameron says, "Hey, it's not all bad. Ted Cruz is locked in his house. Is he tested positive? Is that it?
I don't know.
Hmm. Nephilim Ninja says he's looking to buy an ozone generator for sterilizing Wu-Flu living spaces when not in it. And the guy from CPAC that tested positive for coronavirus shook Trump's hand. So,
I don't know if that's true or
well,
not.
Trump
That
shakes
sounds like
hand with
some.
everybody, but you know,
That sounds like BS. Yeah, but doesn't shake hands with every person at his rallies
no.
or
But
CPAC or anything.
I would guess that because he was at CPAC and has the virus, they may have asked him if he specifically shook the president's hand. So there's a, maybe it's true, maybe not. Nobody's doing a damn thing to my potatoes. Damn, can I eat them? I'll eat your potatoes. That's right. I said it on the air, folks. I'll eat that man's potatoes.
I would, yeah, I would want some potato now. God
Well,
damn
I'll
it.
try a bite because if you fucked them up, I'm not eating anymore. So, did you?
Oh, so no, it was the guy who shook Trump's hand, uh, interacted with the guy who had the coronavirus.
Before
So
or
it was
after
like,
shaking Trump's hand?
I don't know, it doesn't say that, but yeah, he didn't directly shake his hand.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nephilim Ninja says Tulsi could be the only candidate left alive. Must be a Russian plot. Absolutely. The Russians are in control of all of this. Don't you understand? Hey, but I gotta give mad props to Russia and Saudi Arabia because they're doing a 7-Eleven Citgo price war right now for fuel. Have you seen gas prices? I know you don't drive, John, but have you seen gas
Yeah.
prices? They're down to $2.04, and they're expecting over the coming weeks that it could very easily drop well below $2 a gallon now.
Yeah, no, it's almost like the gas prices have been, held up artificially. It's crazy.
Well, and that's what I guess
Holy
Russia.
shit, Boulder Vaughn's learning Cyrillic right now?
I don't know what that means.
That's some kind of like ancient language, isn't it?
Is it a dead
Pretty sure.
language? Isn't it?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm learning Irish, so that's not a dead language. It's actually re-emerging, but it
Yeah.
was
Well,
absolutely a dying language
is
for
it
a
ever?
while.
Is it ever? That's like Latin. They said Latin was a dead language. I'm like, not if you study plants
Well,
or animals.
there's a certain amount. It has to do with like a certain amount of people who speak it.
Well,
Oh,
right. I
Russian
get
is
it.
Cyrillic. Oh, okay. Well, sorry. It
Why
sounds
did
ancient.
Why didn't you just say Russian?
Right. Why did you
God.
confuse us? Because you know better, I
Ooh,
guess.
Boulder Vaughn.
Make us look dumb.
Boulder Vaughn said his gas was
Dollar
$1.98.
ninety
See,
eight,
when was
dude.
the last time you saw something? And where? And
Like the
where?
'90s.
In what state are we talking about with $1.98 a gallon?
Boulder Vaughn's in Colorado, right?
That sounds about right. I believe you're
Yeah.
right. But leave it to those hippie states to start getting the lower gas prices first.
I guess.
Those
Usually
hippies.
their prices are pretty jacked up over there in hippie places like that.
He's in Boulder, Colorado. See what I did there.
Yeah, me too, Nephilim Ninja. He says he wishes he was good with languages. Yeah, I suck ass at language, except for English. I'm pretty good at that one. Like I'm not fluent or anything, but I can order in restaurants and you know, say hello and thank you and things like that. So
Yeah,
that's good enough.
I kick myself sometimes, occasionally, for not having picked up a foreign language. But when I
I
was
mean,
going,
I choose a useless one, but
well,
that's
it's not
just kind
useless
of my
if you go
style.
if you visit Ireland. I mean, it's not completely useless. You have plans to
Most
do
of them
that.
don't speak it. There's only like 50,000 native speakers over there, like who speak it, fluently and often.
Ed says it's not being artificially held up. Russian SA are doing major damage to their economies to do it. Well, what happened at the OPEC meeting was the Russians wanted the Saudi Arabians to agree to a slowdown in production. That way they could keep the pricing near the level it was at. And Saudi Arabia apparently said, no, we're just going to slash prices. we're just going to cut prices and keep putting out oil because apparently, oil is on a decline as far as, they call it a soft decline as far as demand is concerned. Of course, because, everybody wants to do the green thing, right? So that's having some impact, but not major. But
Yeah.
Russia was on the plan wanting to just slow down production some, keep the prices, basically prop the prices up with slower production. And Saudi Arabia's like, no, no, we're gonna fuck it. But apparently, it's having an impact on us,
Hey, whatever
as
drives the
on
gas prices down.
our oil production. It's bottoming out our pricing that we can get for oil too. That kind of thing. I guess it draws you in. When 7-Eleven and Chevron are having a gas war, Mobil gets sucked into it too because they're going to lose business if they don't. I don't know.
I don't know. Is there less demand? They're saying more supply, less demand. I think there's the same amount of demand, just more supply or more easily accessible supply.
Well, as far
Oh,
as
okay. I think he's talking about like overall, not like right now.
what?
Just like overall, there's less supply, less demand
Right, right. That's what
overall
like
because
the
of
green move that's
energy.
happening all over the world is, it's decreasing the amount of oil that's being demanded overall. But they call it a soft decline. It's not like it's dropping drastically.
Right.
It's just on a slow decline, which you would expect in a world where people are trying to go to renewable energy or whatever,
Oh
making these
shit!
efforts. So
It's a
uh,
midget
it's
B.
a midget
He's in
B,
the
man.
house.
It's a
Oh
midget B.
shit!
And you're right, Ed. Saudi Arabia is selling at a loss, and I wonder why they made that decision. And I don't know if part of me thinks it might be a trade off to Trump. Just making those backdoor deals, not backdoor dealing, but behind the scenes deals where it's like, okay, we're selling you all these arms. You killed a reporter. Shit could get shady. Why don't you? But I don't know. No, I don't know why they decided to do it, but it's having a positive impact for us. So, to a certain extent, but our own oil production is fucked. I guess. I still say we need to stop bringing in foreign oil. I think we have the reserves. We can live comfortably on our own oil for many, many, many years. Well past the amount of years it would take for us to transition away from oil and the need for
Yeah.
oil. Because we're going to have to go to that eventually. It's just going to be more feasible. It's going to be smarter to go to some sort of tech that doesn't require so much. Because I'm tired of our economy being so heavily fueled, no pun intended, by
Yeah.
oil prices and oil, etc. Um,
Ed says you can only make backdoor deals with Booty Jig. Yeah,
well, obviously
Booty
his
Jig.
backdoor deal didn't work out. Uh, Russia supposedly has a new, very cheap way to extract. Yeah,
Yeah, it's called sending gulag prisoners down
right.
there
It's
and
like slave
having them
labor.
bring it up by hand.
Is that what they're calling slave labor these days?
Yeah,
New, very cheap way to extract. Oh,
that's right.
since Mexicans can't get over our wall, they're going to Russia
They're
to
going to Russia.
help get the oil out. It's a little colder, but just makes the siesta a little nicer.
Yeah, just gotta bring more tequila.
Mm.
Keep you warm.
Um, but no, it's funny. Like I saw an article, talking about Iran. Like Iran's getting hit by the coronavirus right now, right? But of course, they are perpetuating this theory, this conspiracy that the U.S. is involved with the release of the coronavirus because we wanted to put it basically like I hypothesized previously that we did it to put a check on China, just kind of put them in their place, as it were, and that's what it was released for. But they said but now they're claiming we're in bed with Israel because, of course, apparently there's a claim out of Israel that they believe they'll have a vaccine ready to go within the next 90 days.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, I mean, to be fair, they have a shitload of like
they have
medical
some
labs
great medical
and
stuff going on.
yeah, I don't think that's anything. I don't think that's any kind of conspiracy. I think that's just kind of what they're doing
Well,
over there.
well,
When
they're
they're not,
well, of
when they're
course,
not bombing Muslims, they're doing medical stuff.
Well, of course, for any, the immediate response when they say that is, it seems pretty coincidental that you're that close to having a vaccine and it's just popped up. So of course that is the fuel for this conspiracy theory as well.
All right, well, they don't need to take the vaccine, do they?
The one thing I took away from it is the hope that there's actually a vaccine in the works in Israel that maybe be ready to go within the next 90 days. That's the
Yeah.
big takeaway for me. It's like, uh,
They invented the fucking chimera. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean it's
Ligers and such.
and they even, Iran even put it to the, this article even spun it to the extent that, that it may have just gotten out and they weren't transparent about it because apparently stuff gets out of these biological centers around the world all the time. Like it's a common thing for these things. And I'm like, well, I don't know that it's that common. Or is it? I mean, is that where a lot of these viruses pop up from? Is they're escaping from these labs where they're being worked on? When we
Yeah.
talk about things like the MRSA and the SARS, very similar to this one. Um, but their biggest point of contention is that it's got indications of HIV in the coronavirus. But I got to thinking about it, and a lot of the ideas that this came from bats, right?
Yeah.
Eating bats and everything. Well, what do we know about bats? Bats will drink the blood of other animals, depending on the bat. But a lot of bats do it because a lot of bats are carnivorous or omnivores.
Omnivore, yeah.
Um, it seems to me that it could have been quite easy for an animal like that to contract HIV, depending on where it might have gotten tainted blood from. I mean, I think that's possible. Um, I don't know. I don't know how many animals actually have picked up the HIV virus in some way, shape, or form. I could imagine, it started with a monkey, so it's not far fetched to imagine that animals have it, just aren't dying from it, right? Because it kills humans, not animals, or not quickly, if anything else. But the Bolderman says the Israeli vaccine is legit research, though published since 2013. Yeah, see, and that's where folks make a very critical mistake is all of the vaccines that they've been working on for things like MRSA and SARS. These are right down the alley. These are all coronaviruses. These are things that are right down the alley of looking for a vaccine for this one. So a lot of the groundwork has already been done. So you can't jump on somebody and say, "Oh, you seem to have a pretty quick vaccine window coming up." Well, no, that's because we've been working on it. Everybody's been fucking working on it. Everybody's been trying to figure out how to deal with SARS. And it's not like we haven't been trying to figure out how to cure the fucking common cold and flu for, I don't know, a minute. You know?
Yeah.
So, but oh, look who else showed. Tinchy showed up. Nice
Yeah,
to see
Tinchy's
it. Tinchy
here.
in the house. Bolderman
Woo!
says they were research animals and sold at the local markets. They were infecting
Oh,
these animals
guys.
for the last 7 years. Uh,
Guys, speaking of, Tenchi's foot ducts are in my latest archery video. If you guys want to see his feet.
you doxed his feet. Nice.
Yeah, his feet ducts are in the cat video that I posted.
He says most bats are herbivores or insectivores. Is
Is that a
insectivore
real
a
thing?
word? I don't know if that's even a word.
It might be. Makes sense because it's not quite like meat, right?
Right. But
But it has a lot of nutrients.
yeah,
Insects do.
it would be important to know the species of bat to know because um, not just vampire bats, but there are other bats that will like feed off of cattle. Like this has always been a big thing. Cattle, they'll latch
Yeah.
on and take a
Well,
little
even if they
snack
were
from a
eating
cow.
insects, a lot of insects,
How many
eat.
mosquitoes might have HIV blood, right?
Right. Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
it's not terribly surprising. Now, what we do have to think about, we have to be concerned about are idiots, because apparently, we have idiots here in America. They have them in Japan. Uh,
Hang on, Sully Blue says I watched that. What, 43 seconds of that nonsense? I demand my time back.
I,
It was actually 53 seconds, sir. And it was adorable. So no time, no refund on your time.
But no, there was a guy in Japan. He was diagnosed with the coronavirus, and they told him to self quarantine. So his idea was, fuck it. He goes out for a bar crawl and lets everyone know, hey, I was just diagnosed with the coronavirus, and I'm out here, I'm having fun drinking. So he just went out on a fucking bar crawl until somebody finally called health services, and they came and arrested the guy and all of this shit.
What an asshole! I mean,
But
I did hear that it can be killed by alcohol. So
and
I've been vaccinating myself.
I want
If you know
to.
what I mean.
Well, I just saw something else. It was a headline. It was just the headline. I didn't read the article because I just
Oh, like a
like
Boulder Vaughn. It's not my cat. It's actually the range cat. It's the cat like at the range. I don't own the cat. I don't own the cat.
the thing you don't shoot at. But
Well, there's the pig too. You don't shoot at Lulu. Lulu's family.
but we have an idiot here in America too.
Yeah.
That, and I want to say it was up in the Northeast, a northeastern state, was diagnosed with the coronavirus and was told to self quarantine. And they believe maybe there was a miscommunication in what the expectation was, because obviously this person is so out of touch that they had no idea that this was going on and what to do should you be infected with it. Because
Wow.
this person turned around and went out to a big party, big social function, and then turned up at work the following day. It's like, what the fuck
God.
is wrong with you?
That's a bad idea in general to go out and party and then show up at work the next day. Let alone being sick at the same time and spreading the coronavirus.
Tinchy says Ozzy Osbourne started the coronavirus in
Yes,
1982.
that's funny.
But apparently the effects are not all that bad. You go a little psycho, but look at him. He's still fine.
Yeah, he's still chugging along at like what 70 something,
70 something.
80. Yeah, he's like 70 something.
I don't even.
Fucking ridiculous.
I just saw. Speaking of 70 something years old, so Dolly Parton, right? She's 74 years old. She's getting ready to turn 75. She's talking about doing another Playboy photo shoot at 75. Because
Yeah.
she did one in 1978 when she was 32 years old, but she did not do any nudity. Um, but looking at her now, she was funny, and this was from her own mouth, right? Um, she said, she's had a lot of nips and tucks, as it were, but she said, uh, paraphrasing, she said, basically, I kind of have a very distinct look. I look a little bit cartoonish, and cartoons never age. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. But
To
looked at a recent picture of her, and sure enough, yeah, she doesn't look like she's kicking 74, 75 years
be
old.
honest, I didn't know she was still alive. So, I mean, I guess she looks better than I thought she did. Like, regardless. Have you ever been to her theme park?
No, why?
I've been there.
Why?
Oh, well, I mean, I went with my family. It's not like, I just chose to go there one
Oh,
day.
okay.
Like, yeah, we were on vacation and we went there to, was it Dollywood?
And how
It
was
was,
that? Did you ride the little train?
there was like a firefighter roller coaster thing that was kind of cool. I don't remember exactly why. This was a long time ago. I was maybe like 12 or 13, something like that. I was real young.
I wonder, is it still that popular?
I don't know. Like I said,
That's crazy.
it's
Yeah,
been
no, I
like
never
yeah,
had any
it's been like
desire to go
17
to
years, something like
Dollywood.
that.
I was like, really? A theme park? I mean, all I
Yeah.
pictured was all the roller coaster would just be two big giant hills. That's it. That's the whole roller coaster ride.
No. Solid Blue, you had it right. Tennis sex. You had it right the first time.
Yeah, Tennis X.
Tennis sex.
Went to the thing. See, I don't. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine what would be the draw to go to that. I mean, you just. I'd.
I don't remember because like I remember we rode that ride and then like it started raining, so there wasn't really much else to do. Like we didn't do much there. I don't remember much else about that park other than that roller coaster was kind of cool.
All that tells me is that the state was too cheap to hook up with Six Flags.
Um, no. They have King's Dominion or something like that. It's a Six Flags.
Is it really?
Yeah, maybe I might be thinking of the Georgia ones for King's Dominion or Domain or
Because
whatever,
another
but
Six
I'm pretty sure there is a Six Flags in Tennessee. Pretty sure. Give it
Oh.
like 85% sure.
Sully says she actually used Dollywood to help the people who lost their homes in the fires in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge.
Gatlinburg.
What did I say?
No, Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge.
That's what I was,
Yeah.
yeah, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
I've been to both
Dolly.
those places though, Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. They
Okay.
have awesome like colonial forts and like, villages and stuff. It's pretty sweet for someone who likes history.
Yeah, I think I've been to Gatlinburg, but I don't know if I've been to Pigeon Forge or not. I'll probably have
Yeah,
to make sure and do that when I get up to Tennessee.
absolutely.
But
It's
no,
like right in
I
the
mean,
mountains too. It's beautiful.
I mean, I have to say, I love Dolly Parton as far as a musician and everything. I could just never wrap my head around why she needed a fucking theme park. I just couldn't understand it. I was like, why, why?
Yeah.
No, I don't know that there's a Six Flags over Tennessee because I mean that's the Six Flags. It used
Well,
to be
let's
the
find
point
out.
behind the Six Flags were that those were the flags of the six locations they were at, or the six countries, something like that. I know there's one in Texas. I know there's one in Georgia. I used to work at Six Flags over Georgia when I was younger. But
Um. Yeah, Six Flags over Texas. I'm seeing Georgia, Texas. Six Flags Tennessee in Memphis, Tennessee.
oh yeah,
Currently
yeah,
owned and operated by Six Flags. Park opened in 1972
wow,
as Six Flags' fourth and final amusement park that they opened by themselves.
wow.
Yep, they do have one.
That's
So there you
interesting.
go.
That's good to know. And you said it's by where? Memphis?
Memphis, yeah.
Might be interesting to go check out. Not that I could convince my wife to go to a theme park like that, but she can't stand the crowds.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the crowds.
Yeah, she's never been to any of the Disney parks or Universal parks here.
Oh, they're so good. Actually, me and Sully Blue used to go with another friend. We used to go to Universal all the time. And I mean, like, all the time. Like, 2 to 3 times a week sometimes. Because we had the yearly pass or whatever, so you get in, you know, you get in as
Yeah.
much as you want.
Well, I did that. That's what we used to do that with my girls. My ex-wife, we would get passes to one of either Disney or Universal for the entire year, just to have them because it's just great to go and be able to take your kids. The pass makes it perfect, right? You can just go. You can drop
Yeah.
in for 2 or 3 hours. You don't have to go and
Right, you don't have to make a
bust the
whole day out of
whole
it.
fucking day out and all of that. There's a
Yeah, there is a Six Flags in Illinois. That's true.
So there is actually something in Illinois. Nice.
Yeah, well, Navy Pier is kind of awesome too. I had fun there. They got a big ass Ferris wheel.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ferris wheels just aren't all they're cracked up to be anymore, in my opinion. Give me a good merry-go-round, a carousel, and I'm fine.
Okay.
So he says he actually went with James and his family in January to Universal while they were
Yeah,
down.
that was the other friend I was talking about. I wasn't gonna say his name, but Silly Blue already did, so that's fine.
Not James.
Yeah, not James.
Not that James guy. But anyway, so I don't know. I'm not sure whether or not to be nervous right now. We've gone ahead and stocked up on a bunch of food and shit, but I'm like,
Yeah,
I think the only thing that makes me nervous is where my wife works because she's around so many people every day.
right. That is an issue.
I don't have to
Have they
worry.
run out of toilet paper yet?
They're running out of water, hand sanitizer, wipes, all of that stuff on a pretty much daily basis. As soon as they get it stocked in, it's wiped out.
God.
Yeah, it's weird. I you're familiar with Wish, right? The Wish
Yeah.
app. Um, I got a notification on that today. It's like, here, use this code to get $10 towards respirators, disinfectants, this that, and the other. I'm like, oh, great. Let me order.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get a respirator from China.
Yeah, let's get that stuff from China.
Yeah, excellent idea. And
Uh,
yes, I know it doesn't live long in inanimate
so
objects.
they say.
I can't never say that word, inanimate. I think it's because the vowels are so close. I don't know.
It's because there's two N's so quick together.
Oh yeah,
Inanimate.
inanimate. Yeah,
Inanimate. The N's will
it's
screw
true.
you up when it comes to getting your tang tangled.
Yep.
But James, as in Jameson, I was alone in trash, children crying, while screaming and interfering as I walked around naked with a bottle in my hand riding the coasters. Dick a
Dick a flapping.
flapping.
That's great.
Nice. You know, that would have probably gone off much better at one of the Disney parks. Just say it.
Yeah, they like that kind of thing there.
At least if you'd done it
Sure.
at the Disney park, folks would have been coming up trying to get a character picture with you.
It's true.
Can you take a picture with my kids? Don't touch the wiki.
Gross.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just so I don't. China hasn't completely shut down, and I'm a little surprised by this. I would expect that they would, and I'm just really surprised we're not. I'm getting pissed that we're not. So I'm like, man, there's over 400 cases in this country. What more do you need? What more do
Yeah.
you need? Come on, give me that. But Joe Biden is going to be our next guy. Just
Oh
FYI.
yeah, yeah.
Somehow he managed to. I think Trump helped him somehow. He figured out how to help him. Or do you think it was the DNC? They called the Russians and they're like, "We need Biden to win."
Oh no, I don't think he's gonna win altogether. I think
Oh,
he's definitely gonna be the nominee.
well, I have to ask. I've put this out there just as we go along. I'm going to check in on your opinion. Is his response to coronavirus hurting his chances as far as Trump is concerned? Is it has it is it going to start hurting his chances anytime soon? The way he's just kind of blowing it off.
What, Biden?
No, Trump.
Oh, Trump? No, I don't think. I think Biden's gonna fuck himself.
So you
I
don't
think he's
think?
gonna. I don't think Trump needs to do much more than he's doing now.
Well, what I'm saying is his response to the coronavirus. Like a lot of people are seeing
Oh,
this as negative. Is this going to
well, I
have enough
mean,
negative impact?
the same people who always see it as negative, or who see anything Trump does as negative, so they were never gonna vote for him anyway. I don't think it's a huge deal.
No,
I don't. I
because
don't think it's
the
gonna
stock
affect him
market's
much.
tanking too. I mean,
Yeah.
and this is the kind. It's one of those things. The reason I think about it like that is because when it's all said and done, these are the kind of things that he has slammed others for in the past. The economy was
Right.
such shit under your. Okay, well,
But
you may
people
have got.
know, at least people who are honest know that it's not because of his policies, that it's because of the scare from the coronavirus.
Sure, sure. But now you've got a culture out here that's everybody's looking and going, okay, you need to be the guy. You need to be up there doing all the talking about
Yeah, and
protect us.
he's not
You're our
causing a
leader.
panic.
Well, he's not causing a panic, but okay. So for instance, take the person that I talked about that here in America that was diagnosed and then went about their regular daily business. If you have people that hear the president going, it's nothing. The Surgeon General, he said chances are low for any issues for most
Yeah.
Americans. So you get diagnosed with the coronavirus, you just go, okay, fuck it. Then I don't need to worry about, it's not going to be much worse than the flu. I can just go out and about like I normally do.
Well, if you have the flu, you're not normally going out and about. That's when you
You
take
go
time off
you
of work.
you
That's when
go out
you
simple,
are bedridden.
but if you're just symptomatic, if you're not having anything that's like knocked you down yet, you know, I mean, if you find out you've got the coronavirus, whether you're symptomatic or asymptomatic, you don't want to be out spreading it, right? So, that it's just that mindset. It's like, okay, well, I'm being told from this side, uh, you know, be prepared to panic, and on this side, I'm being told it's no big deal. Just wash your hands, everything will be fine.
Yeah,
you're not gonna hurt anybody. That's
yeah,
there's we're on way too far ends of the spectrum here. I need to find some middle ground somewhere.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, so yeah, obviously, how you find the middle ground is by seeing what both sides say, and the things that they're saying, that they're both saying are probably what's true. So the things that they're disagreeing on, you can kind of get rid of those as just
right,
fluff and hyperbole,
right.
and whatever they're agreeing on is what you can at least take and then go from there.
Well, yeah, but he's kind of, I don't know. Like, do we not trust the CDC in a situation like this? Or, I mean, are we not able to put our trust in what they're saying? It, even if it's in direct conflict with how he's delivering the news and warnings. I mean, I don't know. The CD, I know, is the CDC an NGO or are they specifically under the
The
government?
CDC is a government agency.
It is a government agency.
Yeah,
Midget says, another plague ship landed in California today, right? I hope they quarantined all of them. He says the stock market isn't just scarce, legitimate reflection of a loss of productivity, and that's true. I understand. I mean, the stock market
yeah,
is, everybody's expecting impact, and yeah, there's going to be a ripple in the market. Now, it's a pretty
right.
drastic ripple that we're seeing right now, but it's like, oddly enough, I'm like, why isn't a ton of money? Why aren't a bunch of people investing in companies like 3M and Johnson & Johnson, all these companies that make all the disinfectants and the preventative measures and investing in big farm? I mean, you would think those companies are probably doing pretty fucking well right now. Fucking invest in water, right? Invest in fucking Aquafina because that's just flying off the shelves, right?
Well, Aquafina is Coca
Hershey's.
Cola, is it
Is it
not?
Coca Cola's Aquafina? Hershey's is
Yeah,
the Nestle or Nestle,
Nestle.
excuse me.
Yeah,
Nestle has their water. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like there are things that are being majorly produced and a lot of demand for right now. To think that okay, because some of the stuff I'm like, why you got to run scared on other shit like tech stocks? I mean, why you want to freak out on tech stocks or anything like that? All this shit
yeah,
that's being sold off, it's kind of weird. So yeah, the market speculation, yeah, but the the point about the stock market is it's one of those things that Trump has consistently used as a benchmark for his success as president. So when it's tanking, it's interesting to see how he spins that to a positive.
Oh, Sully Blue says Aquafina is Pepsi, Dasani is Coke.
Dasani is Coke.
Gotcha,
Gotcha, gotcha.
gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Sully says,
I
well,
knew it was some shit like that
he
though.
says the economy is great right now, and the market is just about confidence, but it will be temporary. I mean, they had the biggest rise in history last week because they over adjusted the dip. Yes, and they were because they also got a 0.5% rate cut from the
Hmm.
Fed as well, hoping to stifle some of the decline in the market. But now the oil situation is not helping things because that's going to have having a negative impact on the market as well.
Yeah,
He says the CDC is saying wash your hands, don't cough on people, don't travel to pandemic areas. Well, no shit. Until there's some real worry in their statement on preventing spread. And
right.
that's the only thing that like I pointed out earlier, there are cases popping up now, and what I believe the CDC refers to it as community spread is what it's called because it's not, you know, people that are getting it now or testing positive for aren't bringing it with them from somewhere else. It's it's here. So
Yeah,
that's the reality is that it's here now and we need to be at least concerned enough to you know to make sure we're doing the right things. Yeah, washing hands and not, but it's I'm doing pretty good because I have a pretty high level of anxiety. Like I worry about every fucking thing, even though I don't say it. But
Yeah.
um, so it's like I'm watching my breathing constantly. Okay, am I when I like if I start coughing over, I'm like, okay, this is just a normal cough. I've
Oh,
got
this is how it
in
ends.
right in the back of my head. I'm like
Game
giving myself
over.
reassurance. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, you're fine. You don't go out around people, and I think that's my biggest benefit. Uh,
Uh-oh.
Ed says, "I hate to break this to you, Robert, and I know I'm behind. Oh no, it's I,
He's behind
I
you.
feel something
Oh.
trollish coming. But today's sell-off had very little to do with it. Oh no, that's what I said. I know today was the biggest impact was oil. The oil futures were a big impact on the market today. So yeah, I get that. That's why I said, and now we have the oil situation that's not helping things.
Yep.
Yeah, I know there will be a correction in the market to a certain extent. A lot of speculators have said that this is actually part of a correction happening because we were on such a steep rise in the stock market over the last uh, short while that there had to be a correction coming. There had to be some downturn in the market. Of course, then you have your naysayers who are like, the doomsayers, I should say, that are like, oh, well, a turn in the market is going to be the start of the next major recession. And
Yep.
okay,
That's
well,
it. The economy's gone forever. It's all going down. Yeah.
I do
Bullshit.
think that most people don't understand the market enough to know that it is exactly like a roller coaster. I mean, sometimes you just click, 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 click your way up. But eventually
Oh,
you're going to hit
dude.
a point where you're going to drop back down and hopefully not drop back down to a pre rise point. And then it'll start to tick back up again as you get to the next hill in the roller coaster. And it just continues on. It's happened throughout the entire course of it. I mean, you can go back and look at stock market hits and crashes and rises and falls and recessions. It's a pattern. It happens. Um,
Sully Blue actually makes a really good point here. He says, 6 people watching, one like.
what is it
Yeah,
you
what the
people
fuck,
have with the
guys?
like button? You can
Right,
you can like us even if you don't like us. I mean,
right.
geez, that's not too much to
I mean,
ask,
come
is
on.
it?
Fuck, guys. Fuck.
I mean,
Shit's not cool, man. Nah, it's alright. We got 3 now. That's not so bad.
Ed says we already had the virus drop and we started recovering from it already. Yes and no. I mean, I could understand that we might, where I don't know. We're still bringing, as Midget said, we're still bringing people in that have it, and there's still a lot of people that want to come back to this country from areas where the coronavirus is at. I don't think that we can sit around and imagine that we're on a decline with the coronavirus already, especially when we know that there are cases popping up, as I said a minute ago, with community spread. If these people aren't bringing it back from somewhere, they're contracting it from someone, and that someone, it's like, okay, how did they get it? Where did I get it? You know, um, I do think that it's going to settle in. I agree with the idea that it's going to settle in like another strain of flu. Uh, you know, I'm just curious as to where the kill ratio is on it.
The
Um,
KD.
right? Because they all do, right? I mean, even the flu has a kill ratio.
Yeah.
Because as it stands, the last numbers I was looking at over the weekend, I want to say it was Sunday. I was looking at numbers, and it's like 100 and something, 709,000 cases worldwide, and like 3,500 deaths. And I'm like, okay, running percentages in my head, and I'm like, okay, it's still a small number, but a bigger number than you want.
Yep. Fucking coronavirus talk.
Yeah, well, it's a thing, but like I said,
Yes.
just do what I do, stay the fuck away from people. They're all bad
Yep.
news anyway. They really are. They don't like you, no matter
They
what
got
they,
nothing. They got nothing to offer
no matter how
most of the time.
nice they are to you in public. Guess what? They don't fucking like you. They don't care.
Right. Robert and I don't even like be around each other. I mean,
You,
we could be, but
you think that homeless guy is really grateful you gave him money? He's like, when you walk away, he's like, fuck, $1? Couldn't give me a
Yeah, right.
five? Aren't I worth a five? Fuck you, dude.
Yep.
Oh, John, I meant to ask you something. Just speculation on your part. Is what's going to come from. But I think it was Midget. Was it Midget? Who was it that posted that in Discord? It was a meme that was a conversation that somebody was having in Discord about German, not using the word German because it had
Oh,
a.
I posted that.
You
Yeah,
posted that.
I did. Yeah.
So, would you speculate that they don't like the use of the word human either?
Right. Yeah, you use person.
So you can't say human anymore.
Well, I mean, obviously you can, right? It's a
Right.
very
Well, with
small.
them, with that,
It's a very
with those
small group
people.
of people within that small group of people who are like that. Most people really don't care.
So I'm like,
But
I'm a human, and I can't. For people like
no, it
that,
has man as gendered
I
language.
can't be. So okay. So my species doesn't matter anymore.
No, you're a
I have to.
person.
I have to edit
Human
my
is different.
species.
Which means that next time Cameron calls us humans, when he says "Good evening, humans," we have to tell him it's gendered language, and he's actually triggering us, and that we feel unsafe and threatened by his gendered use of language.
See, Sully's on the same page with us. When you look at it, at just the numbers of it, I swear it's a flashback of Plague Inc. He's talking about Plague Inc. And
Yeah,
just watching numbers and colors until Greenland fucks you.
I have a good shit post I'll drop later in the general chat and on Discord. It's about Plague Inc. and the coronavirus. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I was sitting and I was wondering. Oh, see,
Nice,
Bolderon's sees
5 likes. Let me
five
see.
likes.
I haven't
Nice.
looked in a minute. Yeah, 5 people watching, 5 likes. That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
Badass.
Now he's like try refreshing. But now just so you'll know,
No, I just wasn't watching the.
everybody hit the likes right after we said that. I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
and now it's like, oh, there's the likes.
Fuck yeah.
Sully Blue got our back. He's got our back. He'll keep them in
That's
line.
right.
Keep them in line. So I didn't whip it out tonight, John, but
That's good.
I,
Yeah, I'm glad you kept it in your pants this time.
I am getting close to. I should have the new system up and ready, hopefully by Friday.
Yes, new computer.
Yeah, and it's fast too. Like the different, from the graphic standpoint, because that's mainly my issue with this PC is, I could upgrade the graphics card, but it's smarter to upgrade the computer that'll take a better upgrade to the graphics, etc. But the new one
Yeah.
I got actually has co-graphics processors on the main chipset. Uh, so it's like, okay, awesome. So the OBS, when I launch it on this system that I'm currently on, it probably takes, I don't know, a good 45 plus seconds, maybe a minute to load OBS and launch it. But I downloaded it on the other system and I launched it, and it was like I launched it and I turned my head and I looked. Oh shit! It was like 3 seconds. Oh, damn. Okay,
Yeah,
that I like to see. So I'm kind of excited by that. I like fast things. Uh,
it's always badass.
said, Sully said, Sully says, "Yeah, when I make it, I've got you guys." Wait, when I make it,
Yeah, we'll have to
we need
give
to
him one of those fancy wrenches at some point.
ooh, the wrench. You got to work for that wrench.
Yeah.
Don't ask Midget what he had to do to get one,
Yeah,
because he won't tell you, and he'll deny everything. But
he'll be like, "Oh no, they're just lying about that," but we're not.
now I ain't saying Midget will suck a dick. I'm just saying he will hold it in his mouth till the swelling goes down.
I'm also saying that he would not suck a dick. So,
Do what?
so I'm also saying he would
I didn't
not
say
suck a dick.
right. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
the double negative.
with the word, with a name like Midget, you gotta expect he's at the right height. Just saying.
It's true. Oh wow, Ed's starting to get disgusted.
Ed?
Damn.
Oh, take our shirts off. That'll help.
Yeah,
He'll be much happier if one of us takes our shirt off.
I gave him shit earlier on his show, in his chat. I was because he was talking about how he was going to try and run for office, and I was like, I can't wait until it comes out that you took your shirt off on our show. You know, I was like, that'll help our ratings out a lot.
Sully said that he won't suck dick though. Damn.
Yeah, well, they all say that at first.
Right? They all say that
Yep.
at first.
Yep.
No, I've never done anything like that. You won't be saying that tomorrow. Twitter is awash with people who want to abolish the 22nd. Do we have a 22nd?
Yeah, don't we have like 28?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
After the first 10, they stopped being relevant.
No person shall be elected to the office of president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of president more than once. So, yeah, term limit for president.
Sully says, dude, Jay just had RRC on, and now he's
And now
disgusted.
he's discussing. Yeah. Oh, 26 amendments. Sorry.
So basically, to remove is to make it so that anybody could run again for president if they want to. Anybody.
Right, so we can have a king.
No. Well, yeah, in a sense, I guess.
Yeah.
So does that mean people are all over Twitter wanting Obama to run again? Is that it?
Probably.
We want Obama back.
Jesus. Oh,
Do
no,
we?
please, no. No, we don't. We don't want him back. No. No, thank you.
If you could have anybody in office right now, John, and you know, it doesn't have to be a libertarian, but if you could think of anybody that could literally run this country in the right way, who would it be?
Anyone that's in politics, like anyone that's in office.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can go there. I mean, you can broaden it out to not in politics if you want. I mean, if you actually, because I could point to a couple of examples of pundits that I think would actually do well in
Yeah.
Washington. So
So, what about people outside the country?
no,
No?
you've got to be a
Fuck.
citizen of the United States.
Because I was going to have Sargon as president with Dankula as VP.
Okay, they
That'd be
could.
an awesome ticket.
Would you really want foreigners running our
Yes.
country?
Those two, yes.
No,
That'd be fucking awesome.
no.
You think Trump gives shit to the media? Oh, man. That would be a wild ride.
Uh,
But,
says, no Trump. It's all
James
about
Woods is
everybody.
vice. Trey Gowdy and James Woods.
I
That would be
always,
interesting.
I always thought it would be cool to see Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert run. Just because, you know, mainly Jon Stewart, because he's very intelligent when it comes to politics, and he always impressed me because even though he had a side, he would kick the dog shit out of both sides. He didn't care.
Yeah.
He would run Obama into the ground just as quickly as he would Bush. You know,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they gaffed up. You know, that not now. See, I can't say the same thing about somebody like Bill Maher. Bill
Or,
Maher.
what's that idiot's name doing the Daily Show now? Trevor Noah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't love him because he's foreign.
He is.
You know, I don't love those foreign bastards.
Yeah.
Foreigners already run our country. Hashtag Putin puppet.
Putin puppet. That's awesome.
Elephant
We've
Man
got Elephant
showing
Man
up.
showing up. No one can get done what needs doing.
No,
I could.
No one could get it done.
Just give me ultimate authority. I'll get it done.
I
I
actually,
will. I will. In fact, I will aggressively leave you alone.
I,
It's
I
gonna be like you're gonna be annoyed with how much I leave you alone.
now I'm gonna put out. I'm gonna put three people out there that I would be willing to see attempt to run. Two of them attempt to run. One of them actually seriously run. I would have loved to have seen Oprah step up and try and run for president. That would have been fun. To watch Trump go off on Oprah, oh, and
Yeah.
and Dwayne Johnson, you know, because they threw people were throwing that stupidity around for a couple of minutes early on after 20. That would have been fun, right? To see either one of those two up there.
Would have been really fun is Dwayne Johnson and Kid Rock
Oh,
as a
God.
ticket. The
But-
Rocks.
But
Yeah, dude.
but I'll tell you somebody who I think is very smart politically, though you wouldn't have expected it. He did a pretty damn good job while he was in office, and that is Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, I would no, I would have actually given him, even though he's kind of a lefty, I would have given him serious consideration
I
for
would
sure.
definitely give him the time of day,
Yeah.
and honestly, I have to say though he of course can't run. Um, Arnold Schwarzenegger got very smart politically. Well, okay,
Well,
I'm not going to say
yeah, but
very
his
smart.
actual policies, he didn't do anything while in office, really. He was very ineffectual as a governor. He was just well liked because one, he was already popular, and two, he's even though he can barely speak English, he's very charismatic. He's
Right,
very personable
and he's gotten
when he
much
talks.
he's gotten much better at speaking. I mean, I don't know how much you've
Sure.
seen him in recent years, but he's gotten much better in articulation. But he actually has to. It looks like he used his time in office to get to at least gain a grasp over how it works. Not to say that I would want to. He would be one of those. It'd be fun to watch him run. I don't know that. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know that I could get behind him as for being elected, but it'd be fun to watch him run. It sure as hell would.
Yeah.
But
That
I
would be
wish
fun.
I wish Jesse the Body would Ventura would make a serious
Hell
run at
yeah.
that. I think he would get the support. I think he would pull a lot more left and right wing than most people think. I think he
It'd be
would.
great if he like on inauguration day, right? He comes out and like gets sworn in, and then just rips off his suit, and he's in like his
His
wrestling
old
speedo and the
wrestling.
boot and the plastic boots.
Uh, it says
But he's
former.
he's also like old and flabby probably, so he wouldn't look great. But that makes it even better, I think.
Sully says Trevor Noah as a joke. He thinks he's making them, but he's the
But he's
punchline.
the punchline, yeah, yeah,
Uh, the Elephant Man says, "Unravel the alphabet soup. I dare anyone to try. Unravel the alphabet soup."
yeah. The all the alphabet agencies, the CIA,
Oh yeah,
NSA,
yeah.
FBI,
I
CDC, FCC,
now see now that is something like
DOE,
Je,
DOJ.
Jesse Ventura is a proponent of smaller government, or he used to
Yeah,
be. So
for the most
hopefully
part.
his stance is still the same. Which you know,
It's, if I remember right, he was a proponent of like a bigger welfare state, but smaller government in general.
sure, and and to in his defense, I mean he's out of California, right? So you've got to expect you're going to have to expect a very liberal mindset when it comes to or socialist policies, things like that. Um, but yeah, he's used to seem to run a very good middle ground between being a man's man with his guns and and
Yeah.
caring about people and
Well,
wanting to
he
help
was
people
a
out.
what was it? It was the predecessors to the SEALs. I can't remember the name of it now. I know it's like UD something. It's like underwater demolitions and something, and I can't remember what the last part is. But he was basically a SEAL
Right.
before the SEALs were a thing. So yeah, he's a total badass.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things to do is
UDT, I think is what it was. I think it was UDT, wasn't it? Someone in the chat will
the Seabees.
tell me what it is. No, no, the CBs are something different.
I know.
Yeah.
My dad was in the Navy. That's why that name popped in my head. Um, yeah, I think he can make a serious run. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I really wouldn't. I do. I like a little bit of nostalgia, and I go back and watch Predator, the original
Yeah.
Predator. He was great. In
Yeah.
that. He was great in
Oh
that.
yeah.
But such as
He's
such.
also one of the few people I've seen rip Alex Jones a new one and actually like cuck Alex Jones. It was pretty impressive.
Hey, why don't you?
That's not easy to do.
You should try and reach out to Jesse Ventura, and we'll talk to him. We'll see if we
I
can.
mean, I'll try it, but
Yeah, I mean, it never hurts to try, right? What's the worst thing that can happen? You don't get a
yeah, the
response
worst thing
back?
that can happen is I get ignored. Like that's it. That's the
Right,
worst thing that can happen.
right, and you deal with that on a daily basis.
Right.
Right,
Because I ask all kinds of people and they're like, "Who the fuck are you?" Ignore.
Right? I've been sitting
Yeah,
around waiting for a response from Andrew Yang after a very well worded
that was
invitation
well
to our show.
crafted.
And I got nothing. I still haven't gotten
Yeah,
anything.
I tried to get Kevin Smith,
Did
and
you? You
he
should
did.
keep trying
Yeah,
that.
I mean I will, but
If you can keep the fanboy out of the request.
oh no, I can do that. It's out of
Okay.
the request, not out of the interview. The interview, I'm gonna fangirl all over the place.
I can imagine.
Yeah, well, he's still my favorite director, even though his last couple of movies were like. Red State was fucking excellent, though.
What did
That
I
was an amazing movie.
What did I just? I was just watching something a couple of nights ago, or last, maybe it was yesterday, and I can't remember what it was. 'Cause I watch so much shit through the day, right? But Kevin Smith was in it, and I'm like, well, hey, wasn't expecting you to be in this
Was it
movie.
Live Free or Die Hard?
It was.
Yeah, he's the hacker guy in that one.
How did you know that it was that movie? Like, did that?
Because that's the movie that I've that he has a cameo in most recently, as far as I know. Dude, I told you I'm a
How
Kevin Smith fan. Like,
how old is that movie? God, that's still been a
um,
while.
yeah, it's probably coming up on 10 years, if not. Yeah, it's probably about 10 years, maybe slightly less.
Elephant Man asking Sully Blue, serious question. When do we
When do we
actually need
actually?
government intervention in civil life, i.e., cops?
Well, I mean, it depends on how anarchist you want to go. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something like someone stole from you and you're trying to track them down, like you didn't catch them in the act. If you're not home and someone breaks into your house, you know what I mean?
Well,
Then yeah, you can use them to investigate or and
who,
try
the
and track the
feds?
person down. If they steal your car, same deal.
Are you talking about the feds?
No, just cops in general.
Well, I mean, he's talking about government intervention in civil life. So,
Well, he's
and
talking
when you
about
say
IE cops,
right,
though.
but
That's not
he's
fair
talking about the
necessarily.
alphabet organizations. We have federal cops, right? I thought that's what he was referring to. In other
That
words,
could be
how often do we need government intervention with their cops? I may be wrong, but I think that's what he's talking about. Because that
maybe.
has always bothered me. It's like, okay, we have the FBI, but, you know, do they really think that they're the only organization that can investigate and deal with federal criminals?
Well, that and why do we have the FBI and the ATF?
Hmm.
You don't need both.
Well, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms is supposed to be very specific in what they're doing,
No, it's
right?
supposed to be a party, is what it's supposed to be.
Hmm?
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms is supposed to be a
Oh,
fun weekend. Yeah,
I see what you did there.
yeah.
But they had a specific function. They have a specific purpose, or they used to, right? Hell, wasn't they were a spin off of something, or something spun off of them? Wasn't the IRS part of them at some point, or vice versa? Like when they back in the days when they were
Um,
going after
I
gangsters and prohibition and all
I
that.
believe so. Yeah, the IRS does still have like guns and stuff,
Oh,
an armory and shit,
when we had the gun
so they can
debate,
come after you.
when we had that last gun debate, I was looking at the numbers of weapons that the IRS has available and I was like, God damn! I'm like, why in the fuck does the IRS need that amount of weapons?
Yeah,
And they're
so they can
still
go after Al Capone and such.
right. Uh,
Yeah,
Private security and investigation could be an answer.
yeah. No, I mean I get that, Elephant Man. I've flirted with anarchy, especially anarcho-capitalism, but I don't see it being practical. I don't see it working, especially long term. I just don't think I don't think it's the right way to go.
Yeah, I have to say that while we have too many redundant groups in Washington, right? The alphabet core group, um, some is still needed. Like I could see trading off the FBI, getting rid of the FBI because we have state FBI in most states, if not all, and we
Well,
have
those
this.
are like satellite offices. Those are
Well,
still
no, the
FBI, but
Georgia has
they're
a Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the GBI. They have the
oh
Georgia
really?
Bureau of Investigations, which is an FBI for the state.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so a lot of say I wouldn't be surprised if Florida has one. I don't know, but I know Georgia did. They've always had the GBI. Um, and, but we could trade them off for the CIA. The CIA can take care of all of the international kind of issues that we have, criminals, things like that. But I don't love the idea of like, okay, somebody, you know, okay, we've got a serial killer, right? He's killed 3 women the same way. We're trying to hunt him down. The FBI swoops in and goes, "Oh, this is going to be a federal crime. We can do this better than you. We'll let you know what we need you to do and
Yeah,
coordinate what we feel you should know." What the fuck is that about?
yeah,
You know, I know, yeah, I know they do that on TV a lot, but that happens. The real thing happens. Jurisdiction bullshit goes on. You know, I don't know. I don't know that we need them. Um, we've got the CIA. I don't know. Yeah, but I don't
yeah.
know.
We've got all kinds of redundant organizations.
I don't know about private security. You know, ultimately, anything that's run by private organizations, I don't have faith in because
Well, when it comes to like criminal justice, yeah, I don't trust a private organization for that. That's why I think that prisons are one of the few things that the government should run, because it's at least potentially unbiased and you know, well, at least again, potentially and supposed to, you know, seek the actual truth in a situation. Obviously, that fails where it fails, and you know, it's not perfect, obviously.
it never will be.
But with the private, you know, private sector, especially prisons, they've a vested interest to put people in prison
Sure.
because they make money when people are in prison. So it actively works against the accused, which is, goes against, of course, uh, the idea of like what's it? God, I'm blanking on the name now. Uh, I mean, you know, do fuck. Why am I blanking on like of all the things I just said? I'm blanking on the easiest one of all of them.
Right. It's keeping you from completing a sentence, even.
It is, and it's pissing me off. We were meant to be the United Individual Countries of America. The Federalists ruined it. I mean, yeah, kind of. It was supposed to be, yeah, a confederation is what we were supposed to be.
See, that makes it sound a lot like we were supposed to be the EU. Right?
Well,
I mean, that's.
yes and no.
But I mean, you see what I'm saying there, right?
Well, the EU is a confederation, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Yeah.
we're a democracy.
Due process. Thank you, midget. That's what I was looking for. Due process.
Took
I
you
just
long.
couldn't think of that one fucking word.
2 words.
God
That's
damn it.
2 words, John.
No, I said due. I just didn't say process.
Oh. Oh.
I knew that part.
Maybe another beer will help. All right.
Yes,
So,
that's a great idea. Fantastic idea. I think I will.
wow, just wow.
mm.
Um, well, you know, it's I don't know. There's nobody that's ever going to trim the fat anytime soon. Just FYI, just keep that in mind, folks. There's no one trimming the fat anytime in the near future. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I mean, we've got on the one side we've got a president that, if he stays in office, is going to continue to consolidate power, and if he loses, then we're definitely going to get somebody in there that wants to spend a whole bunch of money on a
Yeah.
whole bunch more big government to take care of all you folks out there. Sully says, yeah, the states have lost power to the feds, and the Fed has gone way beyond its reach, and we have let it happen for way too long. And you're right. And you have to ask yourself, it's like that can of peanuts, the gag gift, you open it up, snake pops, right?
Yeah.
How easy is it to get that snake back in the can? That's what you got to ask yourself. You know, I mean, I don't know that we can unring this bell. So I don't know that anybody has any incentive to unring that bell, because
No, they don't.
once somebody hits politics, once they hit the swamp, it's very easy to get muck and mired down into it, and you know, buy a boat that the other party's selling and start paddling your way through it.
yeah.
But you know, that's just me being a little bit of a cynic. Elvin says, "No, we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic."
Yeah.
I know, But that's I get see
It's
that's
shorthand,
it's
yeah.
so funny the you know what we were intended to be and what we are and what we call ourselves, and
Yeah.
it's tiring. It's really uh, yeah. And see, that's the thing. We try and bring democracy to the rest of the world, and it's like, no, we're supposed to be a representative republic, right?
Yeah.
That's what we are. Not even a representative democracy. Am I correct? It was supposed to be a representative republic.
Well, it's a representative democracy in the way that you vote for the people who represent you, and then they vote, in supposedly in your interest
Right.
or in the interest of the people who elected them, and that's why they got elected was because they represented the interest of the people in that state.
Right. It's there's what we were. I don't think we can ever be again. We're we're not. It's not possible. You can't you can't fix the amount of stupid we fucking created, especially with the amount of people there are to support that stupidity. And our younger generations have continued, since my generation and before, moving forward, it has become a population of citizens with their hands out. The majority of citizens have their hands out in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And when something doesn't go their way, they've learned that all they need to do is go to mommy and daddy and cry, and something will probably get done.
Yeah.
You you can't fix that. You can't fix it. And I know that there's talk of a revolution and doing all of this and all of that, but I'm sorry. All that's going to happen is you're just going to be putting somebody else in power that will want that power. There are very few leaders out there that don't actually want to be the fucking leader. That's who you want leading you, is the person
Yeah.
that can but doesn't want to. I don't want to be the leader.
And I've said that before that that's why getting a libertarian president would be extremely difficult because it's really hard to gain power when you're seeking not to use it. When you're
Right,
seeking to not have power,
right,
it's really hard to gain it because it's kind of opposites.
right. And that
So,
and it's exactly what Elephant made. Another misconception is the leaders of Washington
yeah.
D.C. aren't leaders; they're representatives, and that's just it. They are no longer representatives. They do lead. They lead with their own voice and tell you that that's what their constituents want, because there aren't that. I don't think there's that many people in Washington that are still really listening to their constituents as much as they should be or could be. That's less important than you know getting my name on a bill. Uh, you know,
Yeah. We
Pat.
got someone on Periscope. Holy shit. Michael Hayward, he says, y'all remember to wash your hands, please.
I have washed
I have
my
been.
hands.
I actually started washing my hands after using the bathroom now. It's gotten like that.
It was so stupid.
So,
I went in the kitchen. I went in the kitchen earlier to help my wife make dinner, and so I washed my hands and turned around and went to the living room. And there's the dog, Penelope. She's got one of her toys in her mouth, and she's being all antsy.
mhm.
She's happy, and I just reached down and I grabbed the toy, and I'm like, "Arr," and I walked away, and I'm like, God damn it! I just washed my hands. Uh, I like that.
Boulder Von, how dare you? That is alcohol abuse, sir. Do not waste it
Hey,
like that. You
nothing
don't
is a
waste good
better.
bourbon like
Nothing
that.
is better. Who said the good bourbon? What do you
It
think
doesn't
they?
matter. No,
What do
you
you
don't waste bourbon. All bourbon is good bourbon.
really? Go ask for
Yes.
a well shot of bourbon, and you tell me that.
I'm not saying that it's delicious. I'm
Like
not saying it's better
it's
than
like
the
you're
better
okay. It's like
bourbons. I'm
saying,
just saying
hey,
it's
it's Pepe Tequila, yay!
good.
If you've ever had Pepe
uh,
Tequila, no,
no,
thank you.
no, I have not.
Yeah, yeah,
Periscope says that.
that's the well brand. Yeah, you don't want that. You know, once
Yeah,
upon a
no.
time, you know what used to be a well brand that I was really surprised finally got its
Made it out of
place.
the well.
Do what?
I said made it out of the well.
Yeah,
Climbed up out onto the shelf.
Smirnoff.
Oh yeah, yeah,
When
that
I
makes
when I
sense.
was young, early days, in my early 20s in bartending, Smirnoff was a well liquor at the time. It didn't
Hmm.
have the notoriety that it does now. It hadn't built
Right.
itself. But
Well, that's kind of like Grey Goose. That only became popular when what's his name sang about it? Jamie Foxx, right?
yeah, but
Pretty sure that's
it
what it
had been
was.
around. Grey Goose had been around for quite some
Yeah,
time
but it
as a
wasn't a
little
top
designer.
shelf liquor until
Oh
made it
no,
popular.
no, that I disagree with that because like when Grey Goose was introduced, I was actually working at a high end restaurant and it was being sold to us as a top shelf vodka.
Mm.
Um, it was never one to put in the well. They presented it from the get as a top
Well, yeah,
shelf.
but there's it's
Didn't
still
get the
like bottom shelf.
notoriety.
Shelf.
It didn't get the
There's still
notoriety.
there's still bottom shelf, mid shelf, and then
Yeah,
top shelf.
yeah.
I like it's outside the well. I
But
mean,
at the
there's
same
still
time, that came out, right after that was Three Olives, and there was another brand, Saint Belvedere. So like all three of those came out right. There
I was
was like
actually about
this
to
move
say.
to the designer vodkas.
I was actually about to say the only ones I've ever liked are Belvedere and Russian Standard. Those are the only two vodkas
There's
I could
only
actually drink
there's
without
only
puking every time.
there's only one standard in vodka, and it is the absolute standard, sir.
Oh my god.
And that's how it is. It's always been and always will be. And on that note, what did Jay say? Periscope. That's funny. That's
Yeah,
nice. We're going to get the hell out of here. Thank you for shooting the shit with me for a while tonight, John.
absolutely.
Folks in the chat, you guys have been awesome tonight. A lot of good conversation. Love to see
Yeah,
it.
they're all right.
I was happy to see that. I think changing to our 9:30 time slot is going to be a good thing for us. So we're really appreciative that you guys showed up, hitting those like buttons and hitting those subscribe buttons. Do keep an eye out for us on some of these other platforms if YouTube isn't your thing, because we are running around out there on D Live. We're also running around on Twitch, Smashcast, Periscope, and Picardo. We're on that many channels, and I have no idea how we're doing on any of them.
Yeah, I have no idea either.
I leave
I haven't
that to
checked
John.
any analytics there.
I leave that to John.
I only care about YouTube and DLive really.
Oh,
The rest of them are kind of backup in case we lose one or more of those other channels.
yeah, Kettle One. I just noticed Midget B mentioned Kettle One. That was another designer that came out with those other three all around the same time. It was
Yeah.
nice push. But anyway, so we're gonna get the hell out of here, John. There's other places they can find us. Can you
Yes.
remember
As you're
where those
going
are?
down to hit like and subscribe down here in this direction, you can scroll down a little further and you'll see our description where we have our Twitter at the Gen Gap P. We have the link to our Discord server. So if you're not in there already, get your ass in there. It's a lot of fun. We also have a link to freedomscoop.com where you can find all of our stuff and also other creators like Jay Edgar, who's in the chat there, and Stephen Ignoramus, Wyatt from Roundtable Decisions over there. And brand new over there is R-Rated Conservative. He's over there now. So that's awesome. Give him a nice welcome over there. And while you're over there, you can also buy our t-shirts. We have t-shirts over there. And we also have mugs over there.
We do.
So you can buy a t-shirt and a mug with our logo on it. And if you enter the code GenGap when you're buying it, you can get 15% off. 15% off, which is pretty awesome, I think.
Shut
It's a good deal.
the front door.
I know. It's like we're giving it away. We're freaking crazy. Um, but yeah, so that's about all I have. But yeah, make sure you do some of that, if not all of it.
Sweet. All right, we're gonna get the hell out of here. We'll be back on Friday at our normal time at 8:30. Hopefully, we'll have something exciting to talk about, and if not,
Hopefully,
then
something will happen.
We will sit here and stare dumbly at the screen. Then we'll be back again next Monday, again, of course, for our Shooting the Shit episode. Hopefully, all this will be happening on a new computer that's faster and leaner and meaner.
Oh yeah.
I was really hoping Seawall was going to show up tonight because I want to get into his head and catch a couple of shortcuts that'll help me get this set up and get me doing some fun stuff. But until then, we're going to get the hell out of here. Thanks. Wash your hands and
That's right.
and cover your mouth when you sneeze and cough, for goodness sakes.
But not with your hand. Cover your mouth with your elbow, like your upper arm.
Dos
not your hand.
Dos Equis for the win. All right. Gotta get the hell out of here. John, have yourself a good night, folks. Thank you again. We will see you soon. Peace.
Yep. See you guys.
The war will begin.
Yeah. That's 9:30 is gonna help, I think. Can't believe we pulled a fucking Periscope person.